I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another week. You know the drill, episode 65 with SZN Podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And just before we pick off proceedings, let me give my usual. Make sure to check us out on the Instagram and Twitter. We've got a bio in the links of both of those platforms there. That's SZN Pod or SZN Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And that takes you to a link in our bio, which has all of our links. We're available on all good streaming platforms, wherever you get your audio for your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And also we get the visuals up and running on YouTube every Thursday as well. So make sure you check us out on all those things there. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, all that, man. We love all of that. Bro, this episode here, we got a lot to unpack, man. A lot to unpack. There's a lot to get through in this episode. A lot's happened in the past week. We've got fights to discuss, previews to look at, news to discuss. Let's get into it, man. As always, we like to start here at home in terms of what goes down over here on these shores. On Saturday, there was a boxer card on Sky Sports, headlined by Hosea Burton versus Dan Azeez.
Riakporhe headlined.
Okay, Riakporhe was the headline. Okay, cool. He was against Nigerian brother. I forgot his name.
Durodola.
That's the one. Yeah. Man.
You're butchering my man's name.
Of course they was. I know he's Durodola's the pretty sure he's like the African champ, wasn't he? But I think it was for the the silver title, right?
I'm not even sure.
I think I remember. I think it actually was for that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you don't want to mind the belts, WBC, I think, or something like that. But yeah, Riakporhe did the business, right? He knocked his guy out. Quite an impressive win, would you say, for Riakporhe? Were you happy with his performance?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked better than his last performance. I think he hadn't won out like last month. Looked a bit, had a bit of ring rust and shook that off. Came in this time, done the job, impressive. Durodola didn't really offer much. I was pretty disappointed, to be honest, by his performance. He didn't throw enough. He kind of just wanted to survive, I think. I would like to see him have a bit of test for Riakporhe, but yeah, comfortable night for Riakporhe. Looked impressive. Good win, good stoppage. Can be pleased. Yeah,
I'm sure that Durodola was actually brought in to look like to offer him a stern test. You know, it's a strong opponent, strong live opponent. But yeah, man, Riakporhe just is so powerful, man. Said it before with Riakporhe, man. We do like him. He's very raw, and there's, I guess, past fights where he's looked. You can see how raw he is, and he hasn't really translated. Similar to how Lawrence was, kind of a little bit. They're both similar size, similar dimensions, similar sort of power. But Riakporhe, I guess, is starting to look better with each fight as he moves up the levels as well. He still isn't ready to obviously challenge for world honors or whatever, but he's on the right path, I think. And you know, who knows down the line eventually if Lawrence is still about in the cruiserweight division. I know they've got Needle and whatnot. That's a fight I would love to see at some point in the future. Not right now though, but he's doing his job in terms of he keeps winning and he keeps knocking his guys out. So what more can you ask? But yeah, it was a good look for him, and he looked good in that one for sure.
Yeah.
So let's quickly discuss one of the main there's two, I guess, big undercard fights. I think I know one of them was Dan Azeez versus Hosea Burton. That's back in the light heavyweight division. Yep. To me, the best division domestically, if you ask me. Super stacked division domestically, and Dan Azeez is another player. We mentioned him a couple of times. We like him, but obviously when we talk about the domestic light heavies, I guess his name is kind of left off the list. But we can't keep ignoring him. Like he's doing what he needs to be doing, and another impressive performance against Hosea Burton, who's a good opponent. tricky, good opponent, actually, Jose. He's been in with some good guys. Dimensions-wise, Jose Burton is a bit of a matchup problem because he's also really big, like 6'4", rangy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, how do you think Dan Azeez looked last night? Were you impressed with what he did?
Super impressive. We've been following him for quite a while now. And he's gone the traditional route, Southern area, English title, and now the Lonsdale belt, the ever-famed British title. So,
the coveted Lonsdale belt.
Bro, it's a big thing. Like, when you deep at how many British title fights that we've had that have been bangers over the years, it's a good thing to have in your little stash. And he looked good. He looked good. I mean, we've seen the improvements over his fights. And I think Burton was the favourite in that fight, but I fancied Dan Azeez. He mauled him. Roughed him up for round one, got stuck in. It was pretty much gave Jose Burton a beating for, I think, the 7 rounds it went on.
His work rate was immense, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He outworked him. And it paid in the end. The work rate paid.
Yeah. And the question was, could he sustain that? Because even though he was catching Jose Burton and buzzing him, Jose Burton was showing height in there. He wasn't balling up and covering and folding and turning his back. He was still trying to respond, trying to fight back, even though he was blooded up and whatnot and looked like he was getting roughed up. He made it an interesting fight as well by coming to fight and coming to defend his belt. But in the end, the relentlessness just got to him. And it was almost looking like, the towel should come in at some point now, or the ref should stop it at some point. That's it. Starting to feel sorry for my man.
Yeah.
So like you say, Dan Azeez's name has to be in the mix now. When we look at that domestic division.
And it's a great name on his resume, Jose Burton, because I remember at one point, Jose Burton was kind of like earmarked as a potential, like, not world beater, but someone that could be, obviously, like I said, I mentioned how his dimensions are really like interesting for that division and whatnot. He's super tall and rangy. He was someone that I think at one point was looked to be kind of pushed as someone that can potentially make waves. Hasn't really gone for him. I know he was in that I think golden contract tournament as well at one point as well. I know he had issues with Eddie Hearn and promotional issues, etc. But yeah, man, for Dan Azeez to have that name on his resume, that's a good scout to have. And man, he's included now. I include him now, Dan Azeez, in that bracket. Obviously, there's still rankings in terms of who we think is the best and whatnot. Obviously, you get guys like Boatsy and Arthur, who, Callum Johnson and Yard, obviously. But, we mentioned Craig Richards with these guys, and it's only fair to mention guys like, obviously, Shakan Peters as well. And Dan Azeez, man, they're all in the mix.
Callum Smith.
Oh, yeah, and Callum Smith. Yes, exactly. It's a stacked division domestically, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing Dan Azeez up against some of these guys at some point in the near future. Man, it's definitely the best division domestically for me. 100.
Yeah. But the snag is these guys all like in their 30s. So
they're not young. Even Dan looks, he's not young. He's like 30, 31, isn't he? So yeah, man. Yeah.
Boatsy's the youngest lady.
Yeah.
And he's 28. So yeah. Hopefully we see more of them mix it in. We know people like Craig Richards ain't ducking smoke. You know Dan Azeez ain't ducking smoke.
Yeah.
Arthur and Yards have got it on. Yeah.
Yep.
These guys aren't ducking each other. They're all happy to get in the ring. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll see it.
Yep. We can only hope, man. Obviously, we know what the sport's like sometimes, but yeah, man, let's hope that, sooner rather than later, these lot get in the mix with each other. And yeah, man, we want to see at some point, obviously, all these guys. I mean, some have really challenged for world honors already, but we'll see most of them at least progress to that world stage and push for these title shots and whatnot. So yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. But congrats to Dan Azeez, man. Remember, he gave us one of our early strap season moments. That's the jab for you. Remember? So man. Shout out to Dan, man. Big fan of him, man. And hopefully he keeps on pushing forward. I don't know. Do you want to talk about the Marku fight?
I don't really know. Not much to say.
Nothing to say on the Marku fight. He's got a dub, but it was against an opponent what he should have really knocked out, to be honest. I
don't think the guy's been stopped before, but I didn't know the guy. So if he wanted to make a statement, he didn't with that. Probably a close fight, to be honest.
He only fought in, but his last fight was in September.
All right.
On the It was a split decision. I can't remember what card it was, but yeah, man, it's quick turnaround, and his last fight was a tough, close one as well. But yeah, more impressive to be done on Marco's behalf, that's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, cool, done. Let's move on to, because there was a card on Friday over in America. We didn't really preview it too tough last episode, but it's a guy that we've covered extensively. Demetrius Andrade. He defended his WBO middleweight belt against Irish challenger Jason Quiqley. I think previously, when we've seen Andrade against these guys, we've expected him to make a statement, and we've said he needs to make a statement. It's the same old story with Demetrius. That it has been up until I guess this fight, in the sense that Demetrius has been due a big fight for ages. He can't, for some reason, he can't get a big fight, so he fights what's available to him. He doesn't duck anyone, Demetrius. But unfortunately, the fights against these guys who we know he's clearly better than, it's weird because he dominates the fight, but he doesn't get the guys out of there. Like, these will be fights where he dropped these guys early, but he'll fail to knock them out or he'll fail to stop them. And it doesn't really make a statement. And then people complain and say, oh, he's boring to watch or he's horrible to watch, etc. But finally, Demetrius, I guess, gave us what we were asking for. He gave us a statement, I guess, against a guy who we knew he was going to beat up. But he's stopped this Jason Quiqley brother in 2 rounds, which is good for him, I guess. Because, yeah, a lot of questions have been asked over him being a killer and, yeah, whether he has that killer instinct, basically. I watched the fight. Yeah, from the off, this Quiqley guy was, he was overmatched. Demetrius dropped him in the first round. And then, obviously, second round again, more flurries. I think he's dropped him about 3 or 4 times before, obviously, the referee waved it off and whatnot. So, statement win, I guess, against an opponent he should have beaten up. And now, for me, just going forward with Demetrius, like I said, I'm tired of saying it at the same time, bro. It's like a broken record. Demetrius Andrade's next fight has to be against Triple G or Jamal Charlo. One of the two. Has to be. Has to be, bro. Has to be. I'm tired of it. Like, what? And the Triple G thing is one that's annoying me the most, right? This is obviously, Triple G's got a fight against Murata in December for Murata's WBC, I think it is. So they're unifying in December, right? But my issue is, Andre's been signed to the Zone for how many years now? For about 3 years? Triple G's been in the Zone for about 2 years. Maybe even 3 as well. Why has it taken so long for these two to get in the ring? Like, they still haven't got in the ring. But what is the holdup? They're both on the Zone. They're both on the same network. How have these two not unified yet? How?
Because Golovkin don't want it. What do you mean? That's why. Golovkin don't. None of these guys want it.
I don't think Golovkin does. Yeah, you're right. Because my man was so quick to make a fight with Murata. See, I feel for Demetrius. Yeah, maybe these guys generally don't want to fight him because... Remember
Eddie Hearn saying, calling out Golovkin on his table, saying this was Demetrius' last fight against Leo Williams, and he questioned why is Golovkin arranging a fight in December. And when did Demetrius fight Williams? That was time ago. It
was earlier this year, no?
Yeah, it was like in March, April.
Yeah.
And from then, Golovkin had been lining up Murata for December. These guys don't want it.
I mean, Hearn has then even said how Munguia has been mandatory for Demetrius ever since he moved up, apparently. And they offered the fight to Munguia, saying, do you want the fight? Munguia apparently said no, he wants a couple fights at middleweight first. So since then, Hearn was like, Munguia's had about 4 fights now at middleweight. And now, apparently, Munguia is then saying, his next fight should be a final eliminator. Apparently, that's what Munguia is saying. And Hearn was...
he's mandatory, he wants a final...
And Hearn said, wait, you're mandatory though. Why are you trying to do a final eliminator when the mandatory option is right there for you? Demetrius is there. And obviously, Demetrius won't say no. But, maybe these guys generally are ducking him. The Charlo thing is, even though I've said that it has to be, for Demetrius, his next fight has to be Golovkin or Charlo, I say that in the sense that I know that Charlo is never going to happen. That fight is just not going to happen. It's a shame. It's crazy. I mean, Home even said it's crazy how they're both two undefeated 160-pound American champions. Like, when has that even been the case in America? And the prospect of a fight between the two of them has not been entertained, which is nuts. Both of them are American, undefeated champions. Why hasn't there been a unification talk? Nothing. Obviously, we know that Demetrius he's been chasing Jamal since when they were both at 154. Remember?
Yeah.
He moved up. Jamal moved up, so Demetrius went and moved up as well. He's been chasing that for time. Yeah, man. I don't know what he has to do, man, to get a fight with these guys, man. But at the same time, he's 33 now. Time is ticking.
Bro, they don't mention his name. They don't even put him in a mix. I'm hearing people calling for, if Canelo moves up to 175, Benavidez and Charlo should fight.
Yeah.
People are saying that. These two are in two different divisions.
Yeah.
Charlo's got champions in his own division. He should be fighting. Demetrius being one of them. And they say he should fight Benavidez.
I just don't.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what more he needs to do, to be honest. And I feel for him, but at the same time, it is what it is, because in the sense that time is ticking. Like I said, he's not getting any older. He's had this belt for time. You know, let him at least get one big fight, one big payday before, I don't know, he contemplates that he gets moving up or doing something else. But he can't keep fighting these guys, man. It's going to do nothing for him. Absolutely nothing for him. The least he can do is look good against these guys, which he did against this Quiqley brother. Fair play to him. Beat up this Quiqley guy. But these aren't the guys he should be fighting. He should have... Look, man, Golovkin. Yeah, it's Golovkin. In fact, I'm going on Golovkin now. If you don't... Now, obviously I'm assuming he beats Murata. He should be... If he doesn't beat Murata, boy. But Golovkin should be piecing up Murata. If Golovkin if that fight isn't next, if he doesn't call out Demetrius next, in terms of, I don't want to hear Golovkin call out Canelo. I don't want to.
He will. 100%.
He will, but it's like, we don't want to see that. You keep claiming about how you want to unify the middleweight division, you want all the belts, blah, 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 blah. You have a guy on the same network as you who has been calling you out for ages. Make that fight, bro. You're quick to make the fight with Murata. Make this fight with Demetrius. It'll be so easy. You're both on the zone, man. There's no hold up. He wants to fight you. Go unify that. Grab that. If you're good, if you're bad. Yeah, man. That's my challenge to Golovkin, because it's ridiculous.
Well, listen to all the names. Chris Eubank Jr. He's never said Demetrius' name. Never.
Yep.
Golovkin, Charlo. They don't want it. Canelo
said he will never fight him. He's a horrible fighter.
Yeah. Canelo says he's fought nobody. He doesn't want to fight him. None of these guys. Billy Joe ducked him twice. I'm saying it. None of these guys want it, and it's strange, man. It's strange.
The Munguia thing is surprising to me.
Yeah,
Munguia is meant to be the killer, the one that's chasing these men. If he's turning down mandatory, like, bro, what's going on?
Demetrius really the boogeyman. He's really the boogeyman.
He must be, because it's just ridiculous.
None of these guys want to fight him.
He's just sitting there wasting away, man. It's terrible.
And like you say, he's moving up divisions, chasing people.
I promise you, he moved up to 160 to chase Charlo. I promise you, because he called him out.
And Billy Joe.
And Billy Joe, yeah. And Billy Joe as well, both of them. Yeah. Boy, sad to see, man. Hopefully, man, I really hope next year a unification with Golovkin happens at least. Like I said, I doubt the Charlo one will happen. I don't even know what Charlo's on, man. Like, that guy is just sitting there, man. Like, what's he doing? Like, who's going to fight? But the PBC Island, man, it's nasty for him, because all of his rivals are on the zone. So, boy,
that's why they're calling for him to fight Benavidez, because he's PBC.
Because they're only doing in-house. He's stuck on the island over there. But yeah, Golovkin and Demetrius, there's no excuse for it not to happen, man. Next year at least, or the winner. If Murata wins, I know Murata will fight him. I'm sure. I'd like to hope so. But yeah, man, Golovkin, you better do what's right, man. Cool. Staying in America. This is the one we've been waiting for, man. This is the one, man. Last night we were treated to a spectacle. Terence Crawford put his WBO welterweight belt on the line against, the ever-present, ever-essent, Sean Porter, the one that's always there, man. It came, Terence Crawford came through, did the damn thing. I feel like there's so much to discuss with this one, man. From the fight itself to the afters. Let's go straight into the fight from round 1, take it through to round 10 when it ended. So just a quick overview. Terence Crawford became the first person to stop Showtime Shawn Porter. And it's something I thought I saw coming. I think I might even predicted that the last episode. I can't remember. I think I might even said that I think Crawford can stop him, which he did. But I think the big discussion we had last episode, bro, was how do we think Terence Crawford was going to approach this fight? Because we knew what Shawn Porter was coming with. We know what Shawn.
Yeah. We knew what he would do. Yeah.
We knew what he would revert to.
Yeah, we knew how he comes.
Yeah. So round 1, I gave to Porter. Porter started. He started how I expected him to start. Quick, aggressive, stepping straight to Crawford on his chest. Firing off. He was kind of in and out. Fire jabs and combos.
Yeah, he was trying to box. He
attempted to do the boxing thing. And we said before how we feel like, or for most of Crawford's side that we see, he takes the first couple of rounds off to sort of download the data on his opponent. And after 3 rounds, similar to like the Mayweather blueprint, I guess, then he starts to get to work, right? So, yeah, that start from Crawford and that start from Porter, I was not surprised one bit, man. So, yeah, round 1 gave to Porter. He was in and out, jabbing and whatnot, etc. And I think it was from as early as round 2 when I thought to myself, okay, I can sort of see how I see this fight playing out. Because from round 2, to me, Crawford then started to, I guess, be a bit more switched on. From round 2 onwards, he was then looking to you saw the footwork start coming into play. Every time, because Porter, when he's attacking, he would lunge in, which he always tends to do. And every time he would lunge in, Crawford will come, step back, check hook, or check uppercut, or something like that, just to try and time him as Porter's coming in. And I think round 2, we saw Crawford land a couple meaningful shots on the entry every time Porter tried to jump in. Porter was still doing the Porter thing, as in lunging, couple shots here and there, back out, back onto you again, that pressure thing which he does. Crawford was kind of on the back foot. And yeah, that was sort of how it was playing out in my mind. I thought to myself, okay, Porter's going to give me what I know he's going to give me. It's whether Crawford's timing, which is always razor sharp, is on point. And if it is on point, I think it could be a long night for Porter. I think I said this in round 3 as well. It could be a very long night for Porter because to me, what I'm seeing is Porter's jumping in to lunge in and to get his work off. But each time he's doing that, Crawford's timing is so sharp that he's being caught. And these are big shots, especially the body shots. You notice how Crawford was investing into the body heavily, catching him in every time. And I said to myself, boy, I think this could be potentially a very long night for Shawn Porter if Crawford wants it to be so, potentially. Yeah. And then it got a bit interesting to me, right? Because from what I'm seeing, and I don't know how to describe this, because I don't want to sound harsh here. I thought Terence Crawford was taking the piss in there, man. I thought he was buoying it. In the sense that there'd be moments, where Crawford would allow Porter to outwork him and come onto him and get his work up and stuff. And instead of him, I guess, firing back properly, this guy will be smiling at him, engaging in the wrestling matches and whatnot with him. And yeah, I don't know. It just felt like he wasn't, I don't say he wasn't trying, but he was just enjoying playing around with Shawn Porter. It sounds nuts, right? It does sound nuts, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I see exactly. Look, the way the fight was going, from like you say, from the second round, he found his rhythm and he found he found the game plan right there. He knew what he needed to do to win, and it was easy for him. His footwork was much better than Shawn Porter's. He could get, he could pivot out, he could get away from him because he had to lunge to get in. He would catch him with the check hood. His timing was effective. He thought, this is lovely. And then everything, he thought, this is lovely. And then he knows Sean Porter. He knows him well. He knows that he comes to fight. So he was enjoying it. He was enjoying it. He was making it interesting. And he always has a chip on his shoulder.
His chip on his shoulder is nuts.
If you think you're going to out-muscle him, he was there
pushing him. He threw him to the floor.
Threw him to the floor, talking to him in there, smiling every time he had success. I think after the 4th round, I was feeling sorry for Sean Porter. But the 5th round is where Terence was like, took a round off, but there was making a statement. Literally,
the statement was, I'm going to put the high guard up. And he basically let Sean Porter barrage him with punches for time. And he was just there like this, just covering up. And then when the bell went, he looked and smiled at him. I said to myself, he's taking the piss. The thing is, he was losing rounds. Crawford was losing rounds out of the fact that he was playing a game in there, kind of. It was weird. Well, not weird, but I know what he's like. It's him.
Yeah.
It's his.
He felt so comfortable there.
Yeah.
He
could do that.
To the judges. He was not even focused on the judges.
Exactly.
This is easy for me.
Yeah.
And he's shaking his hands. He's doing all this.
Yeah. But like you said, the game plan was there from round 2.
Yeah.
To me, I said to myself, because that round 2, he was sharp on that round 2 and he was serious on that round 2. I'm there thinking he's going to carry on that from the rest of the fight, right? That's why I said in round 3, I think it was, that, boy, it's going to be a long night for Sean Porter. Crawford, I think, can get him out of there when he wants to. But obviously, the fact that Terence was kind of playful in there, or it looked like it to me, smiling and whatnot, and allowing Porter to get his work off and just enjoying the scrap and enjoying the physicality of the fight. Because you know what it is with Sean Porter, bro. It's a physical fight. That you saw, there was headbutts galore. Both of them had cuts opened up from accidental clash of heads, forearms and whatnot, wrestling. That's a Sean Porter fight, man. He's like, he's a dog. Like, you probably get more damage from the accidental clash of the heads and forearms and stuff, and then to his actual punches. It's crazy. But Crawford is a goon. He was enjoying that. He was loving it. He was loving it. And he was losing rounds. He was losing rounds because of that, because of the fact that he was allowing it to be so.
I don't think he was losing that many rounds because he was having enough.
To be fair, to be fair, to me, all throughout, he was landing the better, cleaner, harder shots. Yes, the volume was coming from Sean Porter. You're not really going to outwork Sean Porter. It's the same old story of Porter. It's so funny as well because when we say revert to type, round 1, Porter was looking to try and box a little bit. From round 5, 6, it was back to same old Porter. Yeah. I'm going to maul you, try and get you against the ropes.
All these shots were inside fighting.
The Porter special is clinch, hold you with one hand, boom, 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 boom with the other hand. That's the Porter special. He loves that. That's him down to a T. So from round 6, bro, it was classic Sean Porter. And I think it was round 6 around, but yeah, like I said, to me, maybe you could give because all these rounds were tight, don't get me wrong. They will swing a lot of basically back and forth rounds. One round I would give to Crawford, one round I'll give to Porter, but they're all very tight. But to me, I took it, my takeaway was that it's only tight because Terence Crawford is allowing it to be tight. Because he's allowing Sean Porter to fight him and fight this way, because he himself is playing up to his game, as opposed to doing what he should have been doing in round 2. You know, catch him on the inside each time. But even though he was doing that and landing the harder shots, Sean Porter, as we know, is an animal. He's not going to go away. He never goes away. He will keep on coming all night. And it wasn't until, I think it was round 7, where Bomac has now stepped in and given Terence Crawford a serious admonition. Bomac said, you know, you're losing. I think he said something along the lines of, you know, get back to boxing this guy. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're basically losing rounds, I think that's what he said. I think it was a round before the stoppage where he told him you're losing this, you know? Yeah, I think okay. Was losing? Yeah. I know there was one round where he talked to him, seriously, and was like, he said something about like, step it up now. Like, you need to step it up because like you're letting it slip away. Yeah, he came back in round 7 and started boxing properly, I think there was one round where he then got serious. I think it was 7.
but it was definitely end of round 9 where I think he heard that he's losing, or someone told him that he's losing. And then he was like, that's where his face was, his demeanor completely changed. He was like, what? He was asking the question. And then round 10 is when he went.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, if we look at that round 7 and just all the other rounds where he was, look, you could see the clear cut class in terms of, like I said, watching Terence Crawford, man, he is so good, man. The class that this guy has, from just the footwork alone, bro, the way he was able to sort of set traps and get out of traps at the same time. The footwork alone, the timing, so sharp, the hand speed, everything, man. Obviously, we know he's a gifted fighter because he switch hit, you know, he can switch hit properly. Like, he didn't even have to switch hit that much. He was in southpaw for the majority of the fight. Yeah, man, he's just a brilliant fighter, man. Very smart, high boxing IQ. And that round, I remember that round when he came in serious, it was peak, like, for Sean. Like, he was getting caught each time. Crawford was slippery to hit. Each time Sean would lunge in, he would get checked hooked. And obviously, a lot of people don't realize that this guy is a powerful puncher as well, man. He hits hard. You feel his punches.
9 knockouts in a row. We questioned that when he
9
moved
knockouts.
up to welterweight.
We did.
Question
First thing we said was, these guys are bigger than him and stronger than him. Might be tough to knock these guys out.
We questioned whether he'll carry the power. Question whether he take up the power. He's been knocking them out.
There's no question marks over Terence Crawford's power. He's a hard hitter. He's a hard hitter.
Now he's knocking out people who've never been knocked out. He's knocking out people who've never touched the canvas.
Brother.
He's really killing these dudes.
Brother. So
watching him's a joy, because when you deep it, that 10th round,
yeah,
he kept throwing a check hook, and Thingy was lunging, Porter was lunging, and I was thinking, if you land the uppercut, you could just catch him here.
Yep.
And the time when he decided, I'm just gonna hit him with the uppercut, because he knew, like, I need to get him out of here now.
Yeah.
Hit him with the uppercut, boom. That's the shot that put.
Like I said, I think he always knew he was gonna get him out, but he was just enjoying those earlier middle rounds. He was just enjoying that whole scrap element of it.
From round 4, he knew.
Yeah, like I said, the game plan was there from round 2, bro. That's what I said. When I messaged you in round 3, I said this could be a very, very long night for Sean if it carries on like this. Obviously, he toured around, played around. He allowed it to be close because he himself was just enjoying it in there. Like I said, I could see Porter getting frustrated. This guy was smiling at him each time, talking to him. But by the time he got to that round 10, I already had Crawford up, I think, by a couple rounds. To me, he pulled away at that point. Like I said, the quality shots were coming from him. And yeah, as you described, he's gotten my man, with an uppercut counter as he's coming in. Nice quick uppercut, flash knockdown, dropped him. And straight away, you're thinking deja vu, because the Errol Spence fight against Sean Porter, uppercut again, same round, 10th. Dropped, same thing. So I'm thinking, raw, deja vu. But Porter's bounced straight up. He wasn't actually hurt. It was more of a flash knockdown, wasn't it? And obviously, he's got that, that crazed look in his eyes. He's looking at Terence, let's do this. So I thought, okay, now we're going to see shades of what we saw against Errol Spence. Crawford's coming again. Pieced him up. Razor sharp combinations, bro. Razor sharp. Dropped my man again. I thought, oh, damn. And this is where you see Crawford livid with himself. You saw him pounding the floor. Porter, sorry, yeah. You saw Porter fuming with himself, bro. Pounding the floor in frustration because he knew he'd been caught. He got sloppy, whatever. Obviously, I'm thinking he'll get up. Sean Porter, he's the type of guy you damn near might have to kill to stop him from coming. Like, he will keep coming.
He's a warrior, man. He's a warrior.
So he's popped up now. I'm thinking, okay. But to me, I'm thinking to myself, obviously, having seen pretty much all of Terence Crawford's fights, this guy's a killer. When his opponent's hurt, we know he's a finisher. Serious, as you said, 8. He's got a knockout streak of 8. He knows how to get guys out of there. He's so razor sharp with his punches. They're so swift. I thought to myself, this is peak, man. This is very, very peak for Sean Porter. Can he even survive to the end of this round? But those questions were sort of taken out of our hands because we've then seen Kenny Porter on the ropes. And as soon as I saw Kenny Porter on the ropes talking to the ref, I said, it's done. He's pulling the son out of the fight. And that's exactly what he did. Kenny Porter jumped in, threw the towel in, end of the fight right there. I felt so sorry for Sean because obviously we know he would have continued to the end. Obviously, never seen that before in the Porter camp, but at the same time, you've never seen Sean Porter hurt like this. So yeah, man, Kenny Porter's pulled Sean Porter out the fight, and Terence Crawford.
Sean was livid.
Yeah, he was livid. You had to take it. You had to take it. You had to take it. What can you say? It's your pops. He respects his.
See him walk away from his dad when he saw his dad at the time.
Head down. Yeah, man, of course he was pissed. He was pissed off. Don't forget, he was pissed off at himself as well before that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, it is what it is. He respects his dad. Their relationship is, I think their bond is so deep. Both of them. His dad's been with him throughout his entire career, man. All his life, it's his dad. So yeah, man. that's your pops, isn't it? So shout out to Kenny, man. But
shout out to Sean as well, because he's super respectful to his dad.
Bro.
You see other fighters
they might push their dad or something. Yeah.
Mayweather saying
what Floyd and Thingy's relationship is, man. But yeah, man.
Super respectful.
Yeah. Yeah. Terence Crawford has done something which no one else has done before. He stopped Sean Porter. Sean Porter has never been stopped ever. Like I said, I don't think if Sean had it his way, that fight would have gone the full 12. But to be honest, in my opinion, I think if that had continued, Crawford would have got him out there in that round because of just how I know Crawford is as a finisher. He's spiteful with it. He's mean, and he's a sniper in there when it's time to finish. But yeah, man, the fight was bloody exciting, man. I enjoyed the fight. And yeah, just my takeaway is, obviously we already know Terence Crawford is the truth. Obviously I'm using someone else's nickname there, but Terence Crawford is actually the truth. Like he's nuts. And Sean Porter, man, is just a warrior. As we already knew. We already knew what Sean Porter was. We knew that. Yeah, man. What were your overall thoughts on the fight? And yeah, before we head on to the afters.
I enjoyed the fight, man. I enjoyed it. I think we both said we expected Terence Crawford to win. We expected knockdowns. We knew he could knock him out potentially.
Yeah,
and
I wasn't surprised at that.
Yeah, we knew he could because he's spiteful. He has a point to prove. He always has a point to prove. And yeah, Sean Porter as well. Give him credit, man. He came to fight. We've never seen him lose that badly. Even though he always makes every fight competitive. We said that before.
It's close. Yeah.
Said that before. And props to him. He's a warrior, man. He didn't look like badly hurt.
Yeah.
When he got
he's
down,
fine.
But he was taking a lot of punches. He was taking punches clean, and good fight. Enjoyed it. Good statement made.
It's the same old story with Sean. As we said it, I said it before. We said it before. He is a really, really good fighter in the welterweight division, but there's just that elite hurdle which he's never been able to overcome. There's no shame in that. His resume is nuts. He's fought all the best people in the welterweight division and beaten most of them. The only people he's lost to, this is 4 L's now, right, are the people who were at the very pinnacle of the division at the time. Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Sean Porter. These are the guys on his resume that he's lost to, and these guys were the best / are the best. No shame in that, but just that elite hurdle he's never been able to overcome. Even against the other champion, Ugas, questionable. A lot of people think Ugas won that fight. And Ugas is a good fighter. Probably isn't considered as elite as Crawford or Spence, but he's a world champion. So, but he's had a wonderful career, and I'm saying that because obviously in the post-fight presser, he's announced his retirement, which is something I had a feeling he could do. As you said, we were sort of speculating what's next for him in terms of if he loses this fight, is this a last chance saloon? And I said, well, he can't fight these other guys again unless he rematches with a Thurman or something. The other people will be like the guys like Ennis and Ortiz, and you were like, he's never going to fight those, man.
Never.
He's a proud man, right? And he said that in his press conference that he's fought everyone. There's no one left for him to fight. He doesn't plan on moving up, and he doesn't want to be a gravedigger. He was very, very adamant in saying, "I'm not going to be not gravedigger. I'm not going to be a gatekeeper." I said, gatekeeper. That's the word, great gatekeeper. He's very adamant about saying he doesn't want to be a gatekeeper. And that told me straight everything I needed to know. Like, yeah, these young
We
bucks.
already do that. We already do that.
That confirmed everything, man. He doesn't want all these young demons. Ennis and Ortiz. Cool. Is what it is, man. And he's not looking to fight Conor Ben. So yeah, man, that's it for him. Wonderful career, man. 2-time welterweight champion. I think 2-time. Yeah, 2-time. Fought the best. His resume is brilliant. He can hold his head high, man. He had a great career. I just want to shed some light to the post-fight comments. Obviously, the ringside interview. Obviously, he was super respectful over, the loss. Gave props to Crawford. I love after the bell, both camps hugged it out, kind of whatever. I love that show of respect. I think they are friends generally, and I think Kenny goes way back with Terrence, I guess, from the amateur days and whatnot. So, I think there's a serious mutual respect between the two camps. But it's comments made by Kenny Porter that I think sort of set the timeline ablaze. They've asked Kenny Porter, why he felt like, I think the question basically was, why did he feel the need to pull Sean Porter out? And Kenny Porter, who is always kept it real, he doesn't mince his words, he doesn't duck on anything, he says it how it is. He said, to be honest, straight away, his preparation. He said he wasn't happy with Sean's preparation for this fight. And he said Sean wasn't as prepared as he should have been for this fight, which automatically puts him at a deficit. So when he sees him on the floor like that, hurt and whatnot, he's already at a deficit because he isn't as prepared as he was. And I guess, for that reason, he doesn't want to see him take any more punishment. And a lot of people were saying, how can you say that as a trainer or as your dad? You can't, how can you say that? That's so deep. How can you say he wasn't prepared or whatever? You basically just thrown him under the bus. Listeners, did we not question this multiple times on this podcast? Last week, a previous week as well, we mentioned how the question we said was, is Sean Porter as prepared for this fight as he should be? Because of the fact that we've seen this guy at since this fight was made, Sean Porter has been at every single boxing event. I promise you that. Every PBC event, every fight, every big fight, I either see Porter in the crowd or he's doing commentary. Literally, every single event. You mentioned his podcast. He's dropping episodes every week. Without fail.
Regularly. So that means he's watching the fights, he's watching all these fights, getting guests.
Every week. That was the question we asked. We just asked, I don't know. I said to myself, shouldn't this guy be preparing for the biggest fight of his life? Why am I seeing him at every event? Ringside, chilling, giving interviews, doing commentary, giving his analysis and insights. And that's all. That's we didn't say that he's not prepared. We just asked, is he really as prepared as he should be? Kenny Porter's confirmed it for me. He wasn't.
You know what's bad? Kenny Porter was saying even before the fight that he weren't too happy with some of the sparring that Sean's had. He's not happy with the consistency of the sparring, the level of the sparring, and he's already made that clear. That he's not too happy. Yeah. So it begs the question, man. Like, he's confirmed it.
It's confirmed it. Sean Porter wasn't as focused. Yeah, it's been, bro. To me, that's confirmation. This guy wasn't as focused as he should have been for this fight.
Because last episode we said we found out. We found out.
We found out. The work you always found out. But Nigerian president, it's not me you're doing. It's you you're doing. But we found out. And Kenny confirmed it. This guy wasn't as focused as he should have been. And that's why he felt the need that it was time to pull him out, because he's already at a deficit. And it's just something we picked up on. We said this guy's at every event, whatever. I didn't see Terence Crawford once. Maybe at one. Actually, no, one fight. Apart from but obviously he was going to do that because Bo Mack is Shakur Stevenson's trainer, right? That's Crawford's trainer. They're the same camp. So fair enough, he will show support. But apart from that,
Bo Mack is Heron's,
sorry. Is Bo Mack Heron?
Yeah, Bomac Herring's trainer.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. Sorry, because I keep forgetting because both camps are super close. Yeah. So he was going to show support, obviously, but let's be like, apart from that, I don't recall seeing Terence Crawford at any of these boxing events like that. I'm sure my man was locked away in camp and whatnot. So, yeah, man,
You certainly weren't doing a podcast and commentary.
Exactly, man. We questioned it. We called it into question, and Kenny Porter confirmed it. A lot of people were going at Kenny saying you can't say that. You can't throw your son in the bus. How can you say something prepared when you're the trainer? True, fair enough. But
exactly, some people say he had a bet on Crawford. That he's so close with Crawford. That he must have had a bit of money.
You saw afterwards the way he was padding. He said, "I remember Kenny Porter said, look, man, if it was anyone else, I'm just happy it's you." Like, hugging him,
smiling,
very happy. Yeah, like he's the son.
Very happy. Yeah. So people were saying, "Oh yeah, he set him up. This, that. It's a fix." Because Sean Porter didn't remember straight while his dad was lambasting him in front of him.
Bro, Sean, I thought for like I said,
respect.
As I said, that's because Sean just put his head down. I know he grimaced a little bit and he put his head down and just took it. Like, what can he say? He's not gonna beat up his dad right there and then, is he? And yeah, press conference. Obviously, they looked all right, but yeah, I like to be a fly on the wall in terms of like their home afterwards to see what the conversations were. A lot of people were saying that, oh yeah, Sean should next fight. Sean's got to leave his dad now. His dad's taking him as far as he can go. Sean was like, I'm not even give you the guy for chance. I'm retiring. So that's out of the question. But
I know his dad will pattern him anyway. His dad wears the chances in that one.
We've said Keddy is the one he's the spokesperson. Sean has always been from day one, chilled, humble, respectful guy. Kenny's the one that does all the talking. He's the one that gives it. He's the one that he talks like he's the goon. Like, in fact, I swear he's even alluded to him being like a goon back in the day, Kenny. I swear.
Yep.
He's the one with the bust down chain and the fancy. AB
he's the
said that
beef for the fighters.
AB would say that Kenny is the guy driving all the nicer cars than Sean, getting all the baddest girls instead of Sean. AB said Kenny's the one that is enjoying, not Sean, apparently. So yeah,
Kenny. He says Kenny holds Sean's money.
Yeah,
all the money goes to Sean.
Basically, yeah.
And Kenny gives it to Sean.
I could tell. He said Kenny's always got the big chain on or whatever. Like he's at all the fights with
big earring,
with the big damage with shorties and stuff. I thought to myself, is this Kenny Porter? Oh, shout out to Kenny, man. He kept it real. Yeah. To be fair, you are the trainer at the same time, so I guess you're in. It's a two-way thing, isn't it? You've got to make sure that your charge is, prepared enough, and at the same time, obviously, Sean's got to show a willingness to be coming to the gym and getting the work in. So it's both of them, really. But yeah, a lot of people weren't too happy with those comments, but it is what it is. That's their problem to deal with.
You gotta remember, when we saw the son, I was like, that's love there. That's his son. He pulled his son out, didn't want to see his son take punishment.
Yep.
Wants his son to go home. That's love right there.
It is.
He pulled him out. I thought, yeah, that's enough. Because his son was not taking a beating, but he was eating punches, clean. And yeah, so you got to look at not just the trainer relationship, the father-son relationship.
Yes,
and it's all love.
It's a different kind of relationship, isn't it? It kind of hits differently if it's your son, not so much someone that is just like someone that's you're just in charge of as a trainer. This is blood, isn't it? So I hear it. Terence Crawford, man, what more can we say, man? What's next? Obviously, a certain Errol Spence was at the fight. It was so funny because they put the camera on Spence. I don't know at what moment. I think it was at the moment when Kenny's pulled him out.
Yeah.
Errol shook his head and just walked off and like left with his people. He's cut. Even before there was no even before it got to like the final decision or whatnot. As soon as he's seen Kenny pull this guy out, he's been like, man, and he's left. I don't know.
The camera was on him though. The
camera was on him. Yeah, the camera was on him. He looked to the camera and he thought, yeah, you just see all of him and his entourage get up en masse and just leave. I thought to myself, rah. Like no confrontation, nothing. Obviously, they've told Terence that Spence was there. Terence was like, oh, what was he? He said he was going to come to none of my fights, blah, blah. Terence has said, Errol Spence is the one that he wants, but Terence reaffirmed that he feels like Errol's been ducking him. And Errol's the one that doesn't want the fight. At this point, I'm tired of talking about these two. I have no faith in it happening anymore, to be honest. Terrence even said that if Spence moves up to 154, he will go and follow him to get that fight on if he has to. I think the narrative has been shifted nicely in favor of Crawford. A lot of people now think that Spence is the one ducking, and Spence is the one that doesn't want it. And Spence should even take it because he'll get beat up. A lot of people think, a lot of people are saying that Crawford watches Spence now. Obviously, we know how recency bias and whatnot. We know how it goes. But yeah, I think Team Crawford has shifted the narrative really well, because I think before a lot of people were saying that Spence is the one that's being ducked, and a lot of people don't want to fight Spence. But now I think people are saying that, it's the other way around, and Spence is scared of Crawford. I still think they both want it. I still think Spence wants it, but it's just obviously egos. You're on that side, I'm on this side. I'm side A, your side B. I want this kind of money. Oh, you think Spence is done now for good? Really?
No.
Fair.
I just don't think I don't think he's wanted it for a while, because he's been the one making excuses. Remember, from 3 years ago, Crawford's been calling this guy out.
Yeah.
Calling him out, saying, let's make the fight. Not Sean Porter. And what Spence will say, you're on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Call Al Heyman, all this and that. He'll be saying, he's the A side. Remember those bad claims that he's the A side and this?
Yeah, I always took that as ego, though, isn't it? Because Spence is quite, he sees himself as the man in that division. I don't know, Spence he's never come across as a ducker to me, innit? So to
be fair, it's probably Al Heyman. That whole PBC Island, what they see them in their head.
It's the PBC Island. It's not. I don't think it's him specifically. It's
they're telling them.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I genuinely think it's that. I legit think it's that, man, and it's annoying, obviously, because it's a fight that was not going to happen.
PBC is calling everyone out. No one on PBC said, I want to fight everyone. Tank, Charlos, Spence.
Yeah.
They're just kind of chilling, thinking, I'm the A side. All roads lead to us.
Yeah.
All of them. And it's literally they advise them.
Literally, there, man. It's jarring. It's a fight that we deserve as fans. They are clearly, far and away, the two out of the champions. They're the two best, clearly, like they're levels. It needs to happen. It probably is not going to happen anytime soon. I know even Spence right now, he's chasing Ugas. He's on the WBA's, he's on their neck, trying to sort out that fight. He wants to unify with Ugas first. So that will, and then, once he gets that belt, it's another discussion of, look, I've got 3 belts. I'm clearly the side A. Like, you have to take to my demands and whatnot. It's jarring. So I don't think the Spence fight's happening anytime soon for Crawford. You think, Eric?
It could. Because, as we know, Crawford announced after the fight that he's no longer with Top Rank.
Of course. Let's talk about that. Yes.
That's the big news there.
That's great news. It's not something we haven't, obviously, we knew that was coming. He's been unhappy with Top Rank for a very long time now. So, if that was his last fight, nice. Got a nice payday there, I'm sure. Hopefully, that should hopefully move things along for the fight with Spence. We would hope. I'm not going to hope. I'm not going to, because I've been waiting for this fight for over 2 years, bro. Let's not. Let me focus on other things. But that is, I think, good news for him. And hopefully now it's a case of him, I guess, getting a bigger bag, and because I think a lot of people feel like he should be bigger than what he is, Terence Crawford, especially with the feats that he's done so far in his career. Hopefully now, if he's his own boss, similar to what Canelo was doing, he can command bigger purses and whatnot. Hopefully, we'll see. But it's a bit of a loss. The fight still will happen. Yeah, I know.
What's going to happen next is my man will probably just fight Josh Taylor. That's what I'm hearing. Josh Taylor will move up. Him and Josh Taylor will get on, both obviously undisputed champions at 140. And Taylor wants to move up. So I think that's what we'll most likely see if Spence is chasing gas. Obviously, Josh Taylor's with Sky and Boxer now, isn't he? Yeah, he's with Sky.
He's not the Top Rank anymore either.
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
he's
okay.
with Sky Boxer. Yeah.
Okay, fair. I thought he was still Top Rank. Okay.
Because I know they pushed Eubank and Josh Taylor as the faces of it. So I think and obviously, we'll just see. I think maybe that could.
I mean, I'd love to see it. Yeah. It's not my preferred, but I ain't gonna say no. Shit, I ain't gonna say no to that.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can, man. To see Crawford in action. I love watching Crawford. I love watching all these guys, man. They're all sick. It's just a shame that we can't get that fight, the main one, which is what we want to see. But it is what it is. Yeah, it's a big window. Nice. I mean, like I said, for the resume to knock out Sean Porter. I mean, he even alluded to it. He was like, I did a lot better than Errol did. Obviously, the Errol Spence was closer. Spence still won in my eyes, and he dropped him, but he didn't finish him. Crawford's finished this guy. So, yeah, shout out to him. Even the Kell Brook victory, he did a lot better than what Errol did. It took Errol a while to break down. Kell Brook was ahead in that fight up until he ran out of steam. Crawford has dismantled him. Obviously, caveat is it's a finished Brook compared to the Brook that they brought. The Brook Errol Spence fought was a lot better than the Brook Crawford's fought. But it's still, on the resume, it looks nice. I'm dismantling the guys that you didn't dismantle in that way, kind of thing. But yeah, man, he's amazing, man. Pound for pound, top 5 easily. It keeps going.
Do you think they need each other?
What,
Errol
Spence
Spence and Terrence Crawford? Do you think they need to have that fight to cement their legacy? Because Crawford says he doesn't need Spence.
I think to cement legacy, yes, they do. I think to cement legacy.
Yeah.
They're 2 undefeated Americans. We'll go back to that again. Yeah, both undefeated. Both have been tipped for greatness from a very young age, I guess, for a long time. They both achieved greatness. And it's like, I don't want to say it's this almost parallels between Pac and Mayweather Pac. Obviously, not the achievements, not in the same boat, obviously. But in terms of what they both are, both at the top of their games, both clearly the best in the division. Yeah, man, it'll be a great. I think it's key for the legacy for both of them, for sure.
Terrence Crawford would argue, obviously, that he's been undisputed.
Yeah,
he's undisputed. Multiple weight champion. Spencer's only a 1 weight champion.
Mm-hmm. But so that welterweight division has always been the glamour thing, isn't it? You get me? Compared to the lightweight, like we look at the welterweight's been. Yeah. Since the heavyweight, when the heavyweights fell off, the welterweight division was keeping. Obviously, you had Floyd and Pac. It kept the lights on in boxing. Cotto, like the welterweight division's been sick for. It's been a glamour division for a very long time, in it. So, yeah,
yeah. You look at the competition that Crawford had at light welterweight. It was no fight that people were really clamoring for. Maybe the Ndongo one people wanted to see.
I mean, he smashed him up. He smashed him up. I mean, easy. Apart from the competition wasn't as good. Let's be real. Yeah. Like, Ndongo was the one that was like, oh, maybe. Like, even then, we knew he was going to ruin Ndongo because Ndongo's boxing style, it's sick to watch, but it's so easy to counter if you're good because he's so wide and wild with it. I knew Crawford was going to batter this guy, because timing always beats. Because Ndongo is so wild with it, man. But fights the same way as well. It's so funny.
Great to watch.
Who was it? What's his name? Who else? Regis did the same to him as well. Regis.
You loosen off.
Exact same thing with Ndongo, He doesn't learn. It's the same style. He will come at you full tilt, be swinging crazy. If he catches you, it's long. But if you have any shed of like timing and speed and footwork, easy to dodge counter. And he's so chilly. Every time they touched him on his chin, he was down.
Yeah.
So I knew Crawford was going to batter him. I knew it was going to be so easy for him.
I like to see it, man. I would like to see it. I think if Crawford retires,
we deserve it.
The history books will still show this, and this. Errol Spence probably needs it more for me. Because he did.
Like I said, at this point, the narrative is shifted, and
they both need it, man. You're right. They both.
Yeah, they need it, man. Deeply, they need it, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, cool, man. It's always good when a big fight delivers, and that definitely delivered for me. Sounds like it delivered for you as well. We love to see it. Let's fast forward to this coming week in terms of the fights. 2 fairly big fights coming up. The first one is a PBC card. We've got Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa. I think that's meant to be going ahead next week, Saturday, 27th. That's for it's a unification fight, super bantamweight division. I think the WBC and might be the WBA, I don't know which one, or the IBF. They're both on the line. Fulton holds one of them. Figueroa's got the other one. Yeah, so we'll look to tune into that. Obviously, I saw Figueroa's fight against Neri. That was a really good fight. Knocked him, he stopped Neri. I think it was quite cool what PBC I did, because they both fought their respective bouts against good opponents, and their date for the unification was locked in straight away. Or in fact, before the first fights were done, they already locked in for this one. So good from PBC to unify that division up. Don't really have a winner to pick, to be honest. I just want to enjoy that fight, because I'm not as clued up on both of them, to be honest. I've seen them both fight in action and whatnot. I think the Figueroa win against Neri was definitely more of a statement, because Neri is considered really, really good as well. So I think I might give the slight edge to him. But
to who? The
Figueroa.
You said?
Yeah.
Ooh, we have a split, because I'm leaning towards Porter Jr. But
really,
we'll see.
They're both really good though. They're both good.
It'll be a good fight.
Yeah. I'm not, to be fair, I can't put a concrete because I'm not as clued up on both of these, man. But off that, we'll see. But the other fight that is going ahead as well next week on the Zone. Finally, the Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. fight is happening. We've already spoke about this about 5 times, so there isn't much to canvas, I won't lie. It's the same, obviously, we've been waiting for this to happen. It's been moved like 5 times. Legit. It's been moved like 5 times. Absolute joke. Teofimo beat Lomachenko in October last year. This is his first fight since then. That is crazy ring rust for someone that is meant to be the face of that division, the number 1 guy. So I hope that the ring rust doesn't kick his ass. I really hope, because obviously we the listeners, you don't know what we think about Teofimo. How we put him as the number 1 guy in that division right now. He's the guy they all need to see. But over a year out, obviously I know it's not down to his fault. It's not his fault. It's not down to him. But yeah, it's just a bit of a piss take. And Kambosos is pretty good from what we saw of him against Selby. I think it was Lee Selby that we saw him be up. He looked impressive, but we did say that good, but not good enough for Teofimo. There's levels. I expect Teofimo to show us those levels. But yeah, like I said, I just hope that this time out of the ring, I guess he's fortunate in the sense that Kambosos has spent the same time out of the ring as well. So it's not like Kambosos had a mini fight in between or whatever. But ring rust is never good. So yeah, we just hope that both fighters look all right. And I'm fully expecting a Teofimo. I think because he's been out for so long, a statement needs to be made.
Yeah, it does.
So people, because remember, they're talking West in his name. They're talking as if he's food. He's getting a lot of disrespect from everyone. So yeah, just remind people that I'm still him. It's still me. Like, I'm still the guy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
hopefully a question of focus could be called as well, because he's already looking towards shaking hands with Haney.
Yep.
And talking about Tank and all of this.
I can imagine it's quite hard though when you've been, this fight was meant to have been happened. So when it's been so long and so many delays and stuff, naturally I think your focus could slip. So yeah, that's a good thing to put out. I mean, I don't think I'm not going to blame it straight on him, but
it's not on him. It's not really on him. It's like it's the talk of the division and the landscape. Whereas Kambosos is tunnel vision.
Obviously,
tunnel vision on Teofimo Lopez. That's what he wants.
This is a shot, man. This is him at greatness. Like, this is 3 belts on the line, bro. Of course, he's gonna have that sort of tunnel vision.
Whereas Teofimo is talking about Josh Taylor, Haney, Tank, all these names. He's being chucked at him, and he's responding to it, saying, "Yeah, we'd love to fight these guys."
Every time you mention Haney, I just think of Bill Haney's. I just figured the way Bill Haney was talking. You're on the zone now. It's got to be on the zone. Every time you mention Haney, I just figure how Bill Haney was talking, man. Just bully tactics.
Front line.
If Teofimo wins, which we expect him to, is what you say, it's got to be Haney next, right? I mean, according to Bill, it has to be Haney next on the zone. So yeah,
I don't know. Who knows? When's his contract up with Bob?
I don't know. Bob's losing some recipes still. Crawford, Teofimo might dip. I don't know. I don't know if it's his last.
Teofimo was already talking about when he leaves. He's openly talking about when he leaves.
Yep.
I don't know when that is.
I don't know how many fights he's got left in his contract, but yeah, he look out for him to be leaving soon as well. Yeah, I guess it should be. I'd probably say I want it to be Haney because that obviously shows up the division nicely.
And that will be an undisputed fight.
Yes, it will be
an official.
Yeah. So because don't forget, Teofimo he's spoken a lot about moving up anyways because I guess it's starting to be hard for him to make the weight. So he's spoken bare times about moving up. So I reckon if he gets that Haney fight next, that's that division sewn up for him if he wins, and then he can move up calmly. He doesn't have to. Obviously, I would love for him to fight the Tanks and whatnot, and the Ryan Garcias and whatnot. But he doesn't have to wait around for them. They can always join up. Their man will move up anyway. I mean, Tank is in 3 weight classes right now anyway, so Tank could make that fight easily, and Ryan Garcia will move up eventually anyway. So, yeah, I know a lot of people want to see the Lomachenko rematch, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it, but it's known. I'm not clamoring for it as opposed to a unification fight with Haney. I think that's more important to me personally. But yeah, shout out to Teofimo, shout out to George Kambosos. I think it'll be a good fight. But hopefully Teofimo makes the statement he needs to make to let people know that he still is the guy. And yeah, we get a Haney fight next, hopefully, fingers crossed. And if George wins, he's made himself a name straight away, man. That's a big victory for him, big victory for Australia. So yeah, look forward to that one. Cool. A lot of boxing news to talk about. Over the past week since we last recorded. Let's unpack all the key news items. Let's start with Canelo. Our good friend Canelo. Because after the victory against Caleb Plant, well, they're talking about what's next for my man. Oh, yeah, he's going to stay at 168. David Benavidez is there. Oh, Beterbiev and them, man, 175. He's surely got to go up to there. People were saying Triple G, Trilogy, Charlo, all kinds of names. Next thing I know, I'm reading news and stuff. Canelo is stated to fight at cruiserweight to challenge the WBC cruiserweight champion. Is it Makabu?
Yeah, Lunga
Makabu, the guy belly you beat. Yeah. Brother, I said, no way. Oh my gosh.
It's funny because we joked about it as well.
We joked about it. Exactly. That's what jokes about.
We said, Canelo Bradis or Canelo.
Yeah, we said, Bradis called this guy out. He might even end up at cruiserweight. But we were taking a piss. We weren't even being serious.
We asked you who wins, Okoli or Canelo.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't even take it seriously.
We said this. I said, shut up, bro. Only to find out now that Canelo is actually going to cruiserweight. Brother, this guy is 5'7". He's a small middleweight. It keeps spinning me every time. He's 5'7".
It's nuts what he's doing. Because I'm looking at light heavyweights. Like I was looking at Riakporhe and I was like, Canelo's going up. I was looking at light heavyweights.
Oh, okay, right.
Thinking, Canelo wants to go up. Oh, yeah, he's a cruiserweight. Sorry,
because you mentioned Riakporhe. So I thought, yeah. I
was looking at Riakporhe as a cruiserweight, and I was like, Canelo wants to move into this division. These guys are huge.
6'5", Riakporhe is.
I was like, Makabu can punch.
He can bang. He's known as a knockout artist. And you know what the scary thing is, bro? I'm calling it right now. Canelo's gonna knock this guy out.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you right now. Mark it. What's it? It's what? 11:36, 21st of November. I've said it. Canelo is going to knock out Lunga Makabu. I will not be surprised one bit, bro. And it's just going to look mad. The fight itself is going to be mad.
What's nuts is we had a headline where you said Canelo is a world-class cherry picker.
Yeah.
And it's nuts to call this, because it can't be a cherry pick.
It's a cherry pick, but it's a world-class cherry pick because you deep it. He's going up 2 weight classes to fight a cruiserweight. This guy who's a natural 154 pounder. So yes, we know what he's going to be. He's Makabu. He's probably an easy, but I can't even say easy because it's a cruiserweight. It's not easy. It's a cruiserweight.
Can we legit call this a cherry pick? These guys moving to.
In theory, it's cherry pick. In theory, it is a cherry pick because No,
someone who's come from 154 to
in
cruiserweight.
theory, it's a trade-off because you think if you're going to go up to cruiserweight, why aren't you challenging the best in the division, which is either Beredis or Okolie, right? But these are the two guys who will be number one, right? You're picking Makabu, who I guess you can say Makabu and the French brother are probably considered the weakest of the two.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, it is a cherry pick because his target is Makabu. It's an easy lick, but
that's a
at
champion.
the same time, it's nuts because
how can the champion be a cherry
cruiserweight? Yeah.
it is. I hear what you're saying, but
you know what I'm saying. In theory, it's a cherry pick.
For it because,
yeah. It's nuts. It's
if you
he's
move
nuts.
up, we have people moving up the division saying, "Yeah, I want to feel out the division."
Yeah,
this man's moving up and saying, "Ah, yeah,
straight to the champion."
I did. This ain't like a regular champion. This ain't the French dude or he's got it with Makabu, who's even at the time where Bellew, he was a champ. He's like he's 2-time champion, 3-time champion.
And he dropped Bellew. He had man doing a roly poly.
I bet that was Bellew's biggest win at the time.
He banged. He can bang. He can bang hard. Makabu. He's a dangerous puncher. Bellew will tell you that. Even when he fought Bellew, he was known as a knockout. And Bellew was the underdog, a big underdog for that fight. Everyone will say, "Oh, Makabu had some crazy knockout streak, etc." Boy, and like I said, the scary thing is, this guy's gonna knock him out, and questions will need to be asked.
But I was saying, if he moved up to light heavyweight and
knocks out Questions
need to be asked.
Yeah,
I said, if he does, in fact, it's just ban him for him. Calling this fight, it's ban him.
I said, just ban him. You know,
he's guilty. He's guilty. He said he's going to come in at 180.
That's insane.
So he's going to come in 180 or something. Maybe, did he say 200 pounds or 180?
I don't even. It's insane, man. It's nuts.
Like, if you want to step up there, go fight a Durodola, maybe.
You know how we like, even Andre Ward, right? When he moved up from super mid, he moved up from when he moved up from super middle to light heavy, he said from the off, Kovalev is the target. He's going for Kovalev. But even Andre Ward had 2 warm-up fights at light heavy before he got in. He had 2. He had what? One was Barrera, I think, and he had another guy. He fought 2 guys at light heavy to get used to it. He said he needed those warm-up fights, and then he went for the big dog. Canelo's gone straight. He's gone straight for the champ. That's insane. Yeah, man.
We're here saying, even like people saying, he's not going to stay around at cruiserweight. He's just going to do it and then come.
Yeah, he won. He won. But he doesn't need to. He's chasing legacy.
We've said that before. We've said it before that he would stick around, and he stuck around and became undisputed. He stuck around and became undisputed at got the super middleweight.
Yeah,
so
true.
And going for Beredis. My gosh, now you know what he's going to do now? He's going to hold up the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, I mean, Lawrence Okolie even tweeted straight away that, he's happy he's in the division and whatnot, but it stopped his goal kind of to unify the division because Canelo, as we expect the plan to be, he beats up Makabu and then comes back down, or there'll be no plans to be unifying that division for Canelo. I don't think so. If he does, I don't know what to say, bro.
We can't say anything for certain because this guy.
Yeah, we can't.
He shouldn't even be going up, and here he is in this division.
He can't.
How it's going to hold up is because Beredis won't agree to fight with Okolie when there's a Canelo payday around the corner. Or potential Canelo pay. He's going to be like, I want to hold on to the mate, see how this Makabu fight turns out. Yeah, and then I'll see if Canelo's hanging about or not. He's not going to agree to fight with Okolie and potentially lose his belt. He's gonna hold that, maybe have a nice little warm-up fight against someone. Yeah. Canelo's really retire, man. You've done it all. We love you, we appreciate you.
So this will be his 5th weight class. So from welterweight to cruiserweight. Yeah, man. This is, like I said, he's on a legacy tip. This is greatness. We're trying to see. We're seeing this guy achieve greatness, really. Hats off to him, but it's nuts, man.
There's a limit. There has to be a
But
limit.
that's because you know what happens when he wins a cruiserweight. You know what they're gonna say next. You know what's coming, and we've joked about it. Canelo AJ.
I don't mind Canelo Whyte. I'll happily see that one.
Yo, I'm trying to see something. I know who my money's on.
I would love to see that one.
I know.
Canelo Wilder?
Yeah. Hey, it's a long night for Deontay. Boy. Let me not say nothing. Let me not say nothing. Boy.
My gosh. If he can win a cruiserweight, if he wins this fight, I'm calling for it.
If you can win a cruiserweight, he can win a heavy. Legit, you can. Because we've just seen a cruiserweight become the unified heavyweight champion of the world. So I ain't trying to hit. Nah, boy.
If he beats Makabu, and I can't sit here and say
if he beats the brakes of Makabu, shit, he
I'm
might as well.
For him. He might
as well. Yeah, he might as well. He has to. He might as well.
I'm calling for it. I'm demanding it. I said, yeah, you have to fight Wilder. My gosh.
Yo, imagine Canelo becomes a world heavyweight champion. Do you know how insane that is? It's actually dawned on me now that if he wins at cruiserweight and becomes a cruiserweight champion, there's no excuse for him to go to heavyweight. Yeah,
it's like, what's it called?
Boxing's nuts.
You know, Creed.
Yeah. When he fought his, when he fought his, he fought what's his name? Oh, Dolph Lundgren's son. I'm talking about Creed 2 when he fought.
Yeah, I'm saying, at heavyweight.
And the guy. How can I forget his name? Ivan Drago's son.
Ivan Drago's son, yeah.
Cool. And you saw the difference in size. I thought, wait, what's this? This guy's a monster. And little Michael B. Jordan.
And the last film, the first film, he was at what? Middleweight.
Yeah.
And then the next film, he's at heavyweight.
And now he's at heavyweight. Yeah, literally. Yeah, crazy.
Treating boxing like it's a movie.
Brother, he's treated like a video game, man. We keep saying weight classes are there for a reason. And he's just smashing that out of the water. Boy.
They say Andy Ruiz versus Canelo. Come on.
Shit, I hope Andy's ready for that.
It's just crazy. Look at where we're coming. Remember, we said this guy's never going to stick around at 168, and here he is.
Man's going to fight Makabu. Yeah, man. I need to see it. I just need to see how that fight plays out, what he looks like. But fam, serious questions might need to be asked, like Canelo, man. It might be more than Mexican meat at this point. It might be more than that. Cool. Let's touch upon next topic. I guess the next news outlet, which was the Fury news. Yeah, man. Serious questions need to be asked, man. It might be more than Mexican meat, but we'll see. We'll see, man, because what this guy's doing is insane. Cool. Next news topic. Tyson Fury news. I said the Dillian Whyte news, which is going to lead to Tyson Fury. Flowz, you want to sort of, I guess, give listeners a breakdown of what's going on with the Dillian Whyte WBC situation? Because our boy's been shagged again, isn't it? He's been shagged again.
So, from the sounds of things, obviously, we were all waiting for the WBC to call this mandatory fight, give them a certain amount of time to arrange the fight. It was due to be announced the same day they announced Canelo versus Makabu has been accepted. But it turns out that it hasn't been called. And Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury won't be happening under the WBC's call because they said while Dillian Whyte has an ongoing arbitration with the WBC, they won't call for this fight. So we won't be, this fight won't be forced or called upon for Tyson Fury. And it already sounds like Tyson Fury has other plans now. Even though they both said they want to fight each other, but Tyson Fury is already looking at other options. And Fury, once again, Whyte's been shagged by the WBC. Once again.
Dillian Whyte needs to kidnap Mauricio Suleiman and torture him or something, because it's a joke now. Fury's come out now and said that he wants to go in February and March regardless. So he's not going to sit around and wait for Whyte's arbitration to be sorted out, because his own arbitration with Wilder took 18 months. And I think obviously I was having a discussion with you off air, but like I'm there obviously reading the reports between obviously what the WBC plan is and obviously what Fury's saying. And I'm just like reading and thinking about Tyson, sure, you don't have to wait for the arbitration to be done. You can just grant this guy a title shot. It's not about, I don't think
it's to be ordered.
Like I don't think it's the arbitration prevents White from fighting. So if you were to say you want to give a voluntary defense of your title, you've said beforehand that you want to give Dillian Whyte a chance because he's been done dirty in the past. You said before he's waiting for so long, he deserves a title shot, and you want to give him a title shot. Give him that shot. You don't need to wait for it to be ordered. You don't have to wait for it to be made mandatory. Why don't you give him the shot as you said you would? That's how I'm reading it personally. So yeah, I don't know why he's talking about, I'm not going to wait for Dillian. There's no waiting. Give him that shot. Say to whatever, I want my voluntary defense to be Dillian Whyte. Done. End of. And that's the situation sorted. So I don't want to say, it sounds like he might be taking the easy way out. Like he doesn't truly want to give White this shot. It doesn't have to be mandatory. It doesn't have to be mandated, surely, for you to want to give him that shot. You've said it before that you want to give him a shot. So give him that shot, man. Simple. That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know if the WBC not calling the fight means they can't fight, because surely they can.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think, from what I can read, what I'm reading, it doesn't disbar him from actually fighting. So yeah, man.
He could call for it himself. He could, the same way Canelo requested to fight Makabu, the same way Canelo requested to have his mandatory with Yildirim early.
Exactly.
The WBC didn't call it. He was in the mandatory spot. He thought, let me get him out the way now.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury could do the same, surely.
Yeah, surely.
Like, I want this fight. He wants this fight. Let's get it done and out the way. Arbitration. All the arbitration is whether they order it or not. Yeah. And whether it goes to purse bids and all of that stuff, if they can't agree a deal, it'll go to purse bids.
Yeah.
So they have a limited time to make the fight. Otherwise, the fight gets arranged anyway.
Yeah.
But they could get into negotiations now and make the fight happen. They don't need it to be ordered. I'm sure. Maybe we're wrong, but from the sounds of what I was reading and what I'm listening to, you both want the fight, make the fight happen.
Yeah. Boy,
like Canelo's the only one who's moving active.
Clearly, Canelo's Canelo's the realest person in boxing. He's got him patterned. I don't know why these other fighters need. I've said it before. They need to follow Canelo's blueprint and how to conduct yourself within the business of boxing and how to get these big fights and whatnot. Because he's doing it right and he's giving the fans what they want to see. Yeah, man. I don't know what the WBC's beef with Dillian Whyte is, man. It's just, at this point, it's a joke, man. Yeah, man, I don't know what to say on that one because, yeah, man, what more does Whyte need to do to get a title shot? It's a piss take, to be honest. But yeah, I was really hoping that Fury and Whyte could happen to get out of the way, whilst until the AJ Usyk situation sorted out. But boxing, man, I don't know, man. It's just long. The heavyweight division, anyway, definitely seems a lot more political than other divisions.
It's all political, man. There's only one guy who's making things happen. Actually, no, that's harsh. That's harsh. But there's only one champion or one iconic figure or face of the sport who's actively going about moving on. And even then, people aren't even happy. People still say, this is a duck, this is this and that. None of these guys that you're calling on Canelo to fight can beat Makabu. Nope, Charlo's not beating Makabu. I'm sorry. David Benavidez is not going up and beating Makabu. Not happening. Not just jumping up there and fighting him straight away. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, boxing. Follow, like you say, follow the Canelo blueprint.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fully agree with you, bro. Any other news that you felt to touch upon? I thought there was one more bit of news that I forgot. Which we touched upon Canelo, Dillian Whyte. Yeah, I can't remember if there's anything else.
Well, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, we've discussed a lot.
We've unpacked it. Like I said, we did say it's a lot to unpack this episode. Yeah, I think those were the key main talking points in terms of boxing news. You know, boxing is a sport that keeps on giving. Yeah, man, crazy week for boxing, man. Crazy week for boxing with the Crawford victory and all this news has come out. The Canelo news is still spinning, man. I really need to see how that fight plays out. Could be something similar to what we saw with Kovalev, you know, being beaten, ranged and whatnot, and then suddenly out of nowhere exploding, knocking this guy out. I mean, to be fair, you would say if Tony Bellew can stop this guy, Canelo should be able to, but again, Tony Bellew is actually a cruiserweight, so yeah, who knows?
Tony Bellew hits harder than Tyson Fury.
Yep. Allow it.
Actually, harder. Oh man, what G? Yeah.
I said, if Steve Conham could put him on his back,
I'll put him out like a light.
I said, if Steve Conham put him on his back, I'll put him out like a light. Oh, Tony, they need to do a compilation of Tony Bellew talking about his power. Tony Bellew.
We'll put that together.
Yeah, because the way this guy talked about his power, you'll think that he was Golovkin in there. Oh man. But yeah, shout out to Tony. Shout out to Canelo. Shout out to all these guys, man. Been a great week of boxing. Look forward to next week. But yeah, man, let's call it a night there. Boy, one episode. Episode 65 of the SZN Podcast. I've been your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And make sure to check us out on all the streaming platforms. Keep rocking with us. Peace.
Get a strap. I'm strapped up.
What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.